Hey everybody, we're going to do another story time with MeMom. I have Jackson and Kendall here with me. And so today we're going to read about a Bible hero named Gideon. Can you say Gideon?
Gideon.
Gideon. All right. The name of this story is The Sword of the Lord and of Gideon. Okay, ready? And again, I have my special effects team with me. What was an angel doing sitting there under the oak tree? The young man Gideon could not imagine. Gideon was threshing wheat by hand in a place where the Midianites could not find him. The Midianites were enemies who had taken over the country of Israel.
What?
Yes. The Lord is with you, the angel said to Gideon. If he is with us, then why doesn't he help us drive the Midianites out of our land? Asked Gideon. He will, answered the angel, and he has chosen you to do it. Me, said Gideon. How can I do it? My family is poor, and I am the least in my father's house. God will be with you, and you will drive out the Midianites just like you're one man, said the angel. Then Gideon asked God to show him a sign so that he could know this was really true. He put some meat and bread on a rock. The angel touched it with his staff, and fire came out of the rock and burned it up. Then the angel left. Gideon could hardly believe that God had sent an angel from heaven to speak to him. Later, God told Gideon just what to do. But still Gideon was afraid. Once more, he asked for a sign. He said, I will put out this fleece of wool, and if there is dew on it, but all the ground around it is dry, I will know that you will help me to save my country. So the next morning, Gideon got up early and went out to get the fleece of wool. It was so wet that he squeezed a bowl full of water out of it. Please do not be angry with me, he said to God, but let me put the fleece out once more, and this time let it be dry, and let there be dew on the ground around it. And God did so that night, for it was dry on the fleece only, and there was dew on all the ground. Now Gideon was sure that God would help him. Gideon had sent out messengers to tell the people to join his army, and they came from all over the land. They set up their tents, and they made camp near a stream of water. In the valley north of them was the huge camp of the Midianites. Those were their enemies. You have too many men, God said to Gideon. With so many men, the people will not know that it was my power and not theirs that won the battle. Tell all those who are afraid to go back home. All of you who are afraid may go back home, Gideon announced to the army, and 22,000 men went home. Now he had 10,000 men left. 10,000 men. That is still too many, God said. Bring the men down to the water, and I'll tell you which ones to choose.
God is nice.
So Gideon brought the men down to the stream of water to get a drink. Some of the men got down on their knees and put their heads down to the water to drink. Others scooped up the water in their hands and lapped it with their tongues, just as a dog does. Choose the men who lapped with their tongues, God said to Gideon. So Gideon put those men in one group, and there were 300 of them. How could this little army of only 300 men win a battle against the thousands and thousands of Midianites? It did not seem possible. But with God, anything is possible. So Gideon divided the men into 3 companies of 100 each. All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
He gave each man a trumpet and a pitcher with a torch in it. What strange things to fight with. Watch me and do what I do, said Gideon. When we come to the enemy camp, we're going to blow our trumpets. And we're going to shout, the sword of the Lord and of Gideon. So in the darkness, Gideon and his men surrounded the enemy camp. And when Gideon gave the signal, they blew their trumpets. They blew their trumpets and they broke their pitchers and they held up the flaming torches and they shouted, the sword of the Lord and of Gideon! See, here's a picture of what it looks like, those men with their torches.
Oh, you're incorrect. It's illustration. It's in a book.
Oh, I've been corrected. So the men in the Midianite camp, all those enemies, they heard the trumpets and they heard the shouting and they saw the lights and they thought they were being attacked by a huge army. And so they ran as fast as they could to get away. They were so confused that they started fighting one another. And the people of Israel went after them and drove them out of the land. God had helped his people win over the enemy. Now they could live in peace because of the sword of the Lord and of Gideon. Okay, we have a demonstration here of the enemy fighting themselves. So they could live in peace because of the sword of the Lord and of Gideon. Aren't you glad that God fights our battles for us? Yes. Okay, now we're going to do our song, and we're going to add some more books of the Bible. All right, y'all ready to sing with me?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We're going to start with what we did last week. You ready?
Yeah.
Come, fellow Christians, let us tell the books of the Bible we love so well. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges. Okay? Jackson, you're not singing with me? We can see you.
Oh, you can?
All right, here's our song for this week. You ready? Come, fellow Christians, let us tell the books of the Bible we love so well. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, Samuel, Kings, Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes. Okay, let's do it one more time. You ready? And at this point, you're probably about halfway through the Old Testament. Okay? One more time. I have the puppet show behind me. All right, here we go. Come, fellow Christians, let us tell the books of the Bible we love so well. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, Samuel, Kings, Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes. Okay, let me tell you why you say Samuel, Kings, Chronicles. Because in the Old Testament, there's 1 Samuel and 2 Samuel. 1 Kings, 2 Kings, and 1 Chronicles and 2 Chronicles. So that's why we say it 2 times. So work on that song, and the next time we get together, we'll add some more books. We love y'all, and we miss you, and we hope you have a great week.